Pub Feed.
Hello and welcome to the Lock-In Pub Quiz, the online trivia night which has taken the internet by storm, by which I mean received less views on YouTube for episode 2 than episode 1, but not significantly. Every week we are here with 3 guests playing along, and you two can and must play along at home. You can follow us on Twitter at MyTicketUK and post your scores there. However, the 3 players playing for the main prize tonight are all from the world of comedy. After a brief dabble in the worlds of music and acting, we've ditched those losers and concentrated on the laughs. And today's laughs will be brought to you by the following. First up, it's comedian and friend of the show, Ed Gamble. Hello, Ed.
Hello, Ivo. How you doing, man?
I'm doing very well, Ed. I'm nervous because both of us in the last fortnight have hosted online events which, from a technical perspective, have gone disastrously. How are you feeling about today?
Feel pretty good. It's already going better than either of our previously mentioned events.
Our second guest is comedian and friend of the show, Amy Gledhill. Hello, Amy.
Hi, Ivo.
How are you
jacket.
doing? Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm a big fan of your attire as well, but let's be honest, the jacket is the main talking point.
I know, I feel like I should have dressed up more. I didn't know it was I thought it was a pub quiz. I've got my pub clothes on. Yours is,
well,
is this
I
what
think
you
that's
wear
more...
to the pub?
It's absolutely what I wear to the pub to reassert my status, regardless of the quality of the venue. Amy, you perform both solo and as part of a duo, The Delightful Sausage. The first episode of this quiz was won by a duo from the band Air. Do you think you'd be performing better or worse in this quiz if you had Chris from The Delightful Sausage sat alongside you?
Much better. I'm notoriously bad at quizzes, but I'm here to represent people who are bad but just want to have a bit of fun.
Oh, lovely stuff. Well, we need one of those per episode, so that's absolutely ideal. It's the one quota you're allowed to talk about. And our third contestant is
Good link to get Taylor in.
Our third contestant is also a comedian and friend of the show. It is Finn Taylor. Hello, Finn. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'd like to add that your blazer gives you the vibe of a sort of government epidemiologist who's been breaking his own rules to go raw dogging.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. That would have been piping hot last week, and it's still quite hot this week. I've enjoyed it.
It's tepid.
And
it's warm.
It's tepid, topical humour, but I still like it, and it's the sort of thing I could definitely see myself getting up to. So, Finn, we're part of a WhatsApp quiz group that meets up on video conferencing once a week, taking it in turns to set and receive quizzes. How have you done in those so far, and do you think that has prepared you for today?
I set the first round. The second round we came bottom. The third round we didn't play because we were burgled. And last round we only played the first half. So it's been up and down.
Lovely stuff. The quizzing equivalent of divorced, beheaded, died. Set it, lost it, burgled. So with the pleasantries, and they have been pleasant, out of the way, we are going to crack on with round 1, which, as ever, is the temperate climate of general knowledge. So question 1, what island is the native home for lemurs? What island is the native home for lemurs? I couldn't even tell you what that animal is, TBH. So I'd really just be picking an exotic-sounding island, but don't let me tell you how to quiz. Question 2, how many planets in our solar system are larger than Earth? How many planets in our solar system are larger than Earth? Question 3 is about fingernails, thank goodness, and also about death. It's a true or falser. Fingernails continue to grow after you die. True or false? Lovely to have a 50-50 this early. Question 4, speaking of death, which Italian Renaissance painter, they're all dead, sketched designs for both a helicopter and an aeroplane? Which Italian Renaissance painter sketched designs for both a helicopter and an aeroplane? Wonder if we'll ever use either of those again. God, I miss helicopters. So that was the question about the Italian Renaissance painters. I'll be honest, it's the big one, but no clues. Question 5, how many coloured discs are needed to completely fill a standard-sized Connect 4 grid? Although obviously you'd want the game tied up well before. Right, we're now going to go through the answers for round 1. Not for me to call a pass score, but you'd be hoping for at least 3 at this point. Question 1, what island is the native home for lemurs? It is Madagascar, as in the film. Is there a lemur in the film Madagascar?
There is.
There you go. Question 2, how many planets in our solar system are larger than Earth? Anyone want to have a swing at this? Amy, what did you put?
I put 5.
Ed, what did you put?
I put 4.
Finn, what did you put?
6, satisfyingly.
It's a lovely spread, but I'm afraid the correct answer is 4. It's good news for Gamble, bad news for Gledhill, very bad news for Taylor. Question 3 was the old fingernails question. True or false? Fingernails continue to grow after you die, and that is false. It's an urban myth. It's an old wives' tale. Did anyone put true?
Yeah, I've been conned.
You have been conned, Amy. Who do you think told you that? If you had to lay the blame at someone's door.
I'm going to go Uncle Brian. He's
Fucking
a liar.
Uncle Brian.
He's an absolute liar.
Still alive?
Nope.
He's dead and his fingernails.
Well, there we go.
I hope no one's been attending to him and trimming his fingernails every week.
As per his explicit but unnecessary instructions. Question 4. Which Italian Renaissance painter sketched designs for both a helicopter and an aeroplane? It is, of course, Leonardo da Vinci, the big dog of the Renaissance. And finally, number 5, how many coloured discs are needed to completely fill a standard-sized Connect 4 grid? Let's go across the group again. Finn.
I put 5.
You've misunderstood the question. Ed, what have you put?
I put 64.
And Amy, what did you put?
I put 60.
Right.
What's the answer, Ivo?
Oh, the answer was 42, I'm afraid, Ed. Slightly smaller grid than both you and Amy picturing, but having Finn next to you just adds a real class and dignity to your incorrect answers. So Finn's got 2. Ed, how many did you get in that round?
4.
And Amy, how many did you get?
2.
2. So it's an early bit of breathing space for Ed Gamble, but how is he going to fare on round 2, which is, as ever, the Before They Were Famous round. So what we're going to do here, an absolute pub quiz staple, we're going to show you 5 pictures of celebrities as children, and you are going to say who they were and indeed who they are. Who's this? Who's this cheeky chap as a child? I don't know the answers to these, but I'm going to have a quick... Okay, yeah, all right. I don't think I'd have got it, but it makes sense now. So do with that information what you will. Question 2, who is this young lady?
Oh. Ivo, you should
Not young
say
enough,
lady.
I would say. And I mean that to be a hard question in a quiz rather than any other sense. Question number 3. Who is this? Again, sorry to take this out on the Quizmasters, but it's not a young enough photo. But still, good to have a couple of doozies. Now, who's question 4, though? Who's question 4 going to be? And how young are they going to be? Bloody hell, that's a bit more like it.
Wow.
I mean, I say it's a bit more like it. It's an unbelievably old school picture, but it's also quite a distinctive face. Who is this at a tender age?
Oh.
Let's find out who picture number 1 was. Picture number 1 was, and maybe this is one you didn't get or did. Jay-Z.
Yes.
Yeah.
In what you'd have to suspect is a sort of mock graduation ceremony. Too young. Question 2. Who's this? It's Cameron Diaz. So that is Ed Miller Band in number 3 a few years ago. I think my dad's got those glasses. And number 4, a man also with a few things in common with my father. It is, of course, the host of the Grand Tour and now the host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Jeremy Clarkson. Question 5 was, well, I can tell you it was Courtney Cox Arquette. No, Courtney Cox.
I decided to use some of my breathing space from the first round and just wrote a ghost.
A ghost. We've not had someone in such a confident lead that they've done joke answers thus far. And only a third of the way through the quiz, it's an astonishing act of hubris from Ed Gamble. But it's gonna pay off big time in the comments section, no doubt. Round number 3 is the movies round. There is only one question in this round, but it is worth an absolutely belting 10 points.
What?
And that question is, what are the 10 highest grossing movies of the 90s? So it's a single question, but it's a lengthy question. What are the 10 worldwide highest grossing movies of the 90s? So that is round 3, a single question, but a massive question. And to give our contestants a bit more time to mull over what those 10 blockbusters from the 90s are, we're going to go, as we do every week, to a commercial break. And it features a video from the quiz's new charity partner, leading UK music therapy charity, Nordoff Robbins.
All I crave is a good pub feed.
Music is everything. It makes you feel really good. It's about love, sharing. That's what I've got from coming here.
Music is, I think, a fundamental human right.
I think music therapy helps Sia because it taps into a part of her memory that hasn't eroded yet.
What you see is that despite illness, trauma, disability, people can always access music. And you start to see self-esteem, confidence, freedom, control, expression, or on one level, social change and how music affects people's lives, but then affects the community that's around that person. But I think what's really profound is that relationship they can foster with music, because that can then last a lifetime.
Welcome back to the Lock-In Pub Quiz in association with Nordoff Robbins. Now, our 3 contestants have been wrestling with the 10 highest grossing worldwide movies of the 90s. Let's find out what they put and whether they were right. So the 10 films are, and you'll get 1 point per film. Titanic.
Yeah.
You've got to hope you have Titanic in there. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
I called that A New Hope. Couldn't remember what it was called. Jurassic
Park is the next film we'd like to see. Although obviously you don't have to do these in this order.
Finn, did you not get Jurassic Park?
Like I say, I've seriously misjudged the popularity of a lot of films.
I cannot wait to hear what you put instead of Jurassic Park.
I think what I've done is I've written down my top 10 films of the 90s.
Finn Taylor, a man with the views of a dinosaur, does not even recognise films about them, which is a shame because we also want Jurassic Park: The Lost World. So that's 2 dinosaur-based answers. We also want The Lion King. It would also be lovely to see Forrest Gump in your list.
Yeah.
Next up, it's The Sixth Sense. Fun bit of trivia. Until I was 17, I thought that there were 6 senses. Sight, taste, smell, touch, hearing, and the 6th sense. I just thought it was one of the senses. And our final 2 are Men in Black. Finn, did you get Men in Black?
Yes, I did.
I like to think some superb references to Men in Black in Finn Taylor's early stand-up comedy. And then finally, Armageddon.
No.
Armageddon. That was a bit hard. Amy, how did you fare on that round?
I did very badly. I got 4.
Ed, how did you do?
I did better than I thought, actually. I got 6.5.
Oh, well, that's lovely news. There's that half point, teasing us all.
I was, initially I wrote Basic Instinct and then scribbled it out 3 times.
That's what I do for any question in any quiz. I just write it down on the paper, and the feelings it arouses gives me confidence to continue with the quiz.
Well, it aroused some other feelings in me, so I just had to get rid of it. Toy Story I was very surprised by. Apollo 13, I've jotted down as well. Didn't see that. Back to the Future 3.
Oh, that's a lovely choice. Very underrated Back to the Future 3, but we don't have the time. So that's 6.5 for Ed. Amy, how many did you say you got?
I got 4.
And Finn, what did you get?
A risky 2.
Ah, the shocker you promised us. And let's have all of your answers, Finn, please.
Okay, Titanic, Men in Black. You've got mail, Mrs. Doubtfire. Mrs. Doubtfire, Pulp Fiction, Goldeneye, Cruel Intentions, Jumanji, Con Air, The Rock, Face Off.
You've just written down the best films of the 90s.
They're all in the 90s. So
I don't think that's a bad list. I think You've Got Mail is the one that we'll be chuckling about till the sun goes down. Let's see what that's done to the scores. Ed's played a blinder. Amy's had a solid time of it. Finn's had a shocker. Round 4 is Guess the Year. We will have 5 questions for a point each, and each of those questions will consist of 3 historical events, all happening in the same year. Just tell us what that year is. The first one, a relatively recent one to kick us off, is in what year was the Bond film Casino Royale released and topping the box office? In what year was the debut album by the Arctic Monkeys released? And in what year, same year, did Steve McLaren become England manager? Lovely memories there across the board. Cracking film, cracking album, hugely underrated England manager, not given enough time. Question 2, bit further back. Margaret Thatcher, yes please, resigns her post in the United Kingdom. Iraq invades Kuwait, triggering events leading to the Persian Gulf War. And Home Alone is released in cinemas. Question 3, Justin Trudeau becomes Canadian Prime Minister. Matt Damon stars in The Martian. And Kanye West headlines Glastonbury. Or at least attempts to. It was a co-headline spot with Lee Nelson.
I'm not good at this sort of thing. This is a very worrying round for me.
What sort of tactics do you tend to employ, Ed?
I try and remember things that were happening in my life around the same time and then try and track it that way. So
That's really lovely.
On the events themselves.
Can you give us, by way of an example, a thing that happened in your life that you associate with Iraq's invasion of Kuwait?
I just remember really, I got so many giggles out of it.
Lovely stuff.
With such a laugh.
It actually happened the day I was born, so I know exactly what that...
Really?
Yeah, that's the thing that helps me remember when I was born.
It's the day that Mrs. Taylor dropped the ultimate bomb.
Amy, did you star in Casino Royale by any chance?
I didn't, unfortunately. And I've just had to genuinely have a good think about what year it is now. And I'm still not sure I know.
Right.
To work backwards.
yes.
This isn't my round. It's not my round at all.
Question 4. Mad cow disease strikes the UK. Internet users jump from 1 million to 10 million. And the Fugees have the biggest selling single of the year with Killing Me Softly. Best of luck to you.
The same epidemiologist that works on, that just got fired for raw dogging was the one that did the. Yes. Fun fact.
You got cut off there, Finn, so I wasn't able to tell whether the epidemiologist worked on mad cow disease or was in the Fugees.
Yeah, he was in the Fugees. He wrote Killing Them Softly, ironically.
Question 5. The Olympics take place in Mexico. Martin Luther King is assassinated, and the film 2001: A Space Odyssey is released.
I can actually connect this with when I assassinated Martin Luther King.
So that brings us to the end of round 4. Guess the year. Question 1 was Casino Royale, the Arctic Monkeys debut album, and Steve McLaren, the Wally with the Brolly, becoming England manager. Those events occurred in 2006.
Yes.
Ed Gamble is celebrating. Amy is not celebrating very visibly, and Finn is celebrating. Amy, what did you put?
2004.
I'm very sorry to hear that. Obviously, we want to see Ed caught, but he's stripping away. Question 2. Margaret Thatcher resigns as Prime Minister. Iraq invades Kuwait, and Home Alone comes out. And of course, Finn Taylor is born. All of those events, and indeed my own birth, happened in 1990. Question 3. Rather more recently, Justin Trudeau became Canadian Prime Minister. Matt Damon was in The Martian, and Kanye West headlined the Glastonbury Festival. That was all in 2015.
I crossed that house and put 16.
What did you do, Amy?
I put 2017, but I
Me
thought
too.
it was 2021 now.
No! It's just amazing that's the reasoning, and it really cements you as the underdog in the eyes of the viewers. But it's hard to really believe. So when an event gets postponed to 2021 in the news, as is happening on a sort of near daily basis,
Yeah, next week.
do you think, oh, right, that's happening soon then?
Yeah, I'm all ready to gig again. I'm ready. I've got my bag packed. Everything's go. Busy
Right,
diary.
It's a heartening optimism as the apocalypse envelops us. But in happier times, all we had to worry about was mad cow disease. The internet was booming, and the Fugees were killing us softly with their song. All of those things were happening in 1996.
Oh, dear.
No.
Question 5. The Olympics took place in Mexico. MLK was assassinated, and 2001: A Space Odyssey was released. When did those things happen? They happened in
68?
They did happen in 68, Finn.
Yeah.
Brill. Ed?
68. Got it.
Amy?
Didn't even get the right decade. So
I'm sorry to hear that, Amy. Did you, what year did you put?
do I have to tell you?
I'd love to know, actually.
I went for 76.
I don't think it's far off enough to be funny or close enough to be impressive. So you've wasted all of our time. So let's see what your scores were for that round. Finn, what did you get?
I got 3.
Ed, what did you get for that round?
Also got 3.
And Amy, what did you get for that round?
Nil point.
It's nil point. But equally, the revelation that you think we're already in 2021 was worth the entry price all on its own. We come now to round 5, which is, as always, the music round, and is, as always, provided for us by our friend and talented stylophone player, Michael. Michael, whose hand we can see hovering over his stylophone, is going to play us a horrific, garbled electronic version of 5 well-known songs. Please write down the title of the song if you know it, and the artist if you know it. You get a point for each, meaning that this is out of 10 points. Michael, take it away with our first abomination.
Oh, fuck.
There we go. We've got to leave some of these full stops in. Michael, take it away with question number 1. Absolutely beautiful stuff.
Oh god, I'm so bad at music rounds. This is fucking awful.
But this is good stuff. This is good news for the chasing pack. Question 2, please now, Michael. All of these are available online as ringtones. Should that be of interest? I don't know the answers to these yet, so I'm playing along as well, and that one is on the tip of my tongue.
Weirdly, the opposite's happened, and I can now only think of the tune from number 1.
It's an absolute earworm. It's a beautiful song. Let's hear song number 3. I am now all at sea. But to be fair, I looked at my phone halfway through. That's what happens when you're not competing. Let's hear what song number 4 is.
Feels pretty tense now.
It does feel pretty tense. I suppose it's a combination of the difficulty of the questions and my failure to provide any sort of interstitial chat. But it's hard because you've got to just sort of sit there replaying them in your head. I don't want to make it harder. We come now to the final question of this very tense music round. Michael, you've played a blinder. Let's hear your 5th and final tune. Let's have the answers, please. Michael, I am powerless in this domain because I do not know what the answers are. But I'd love to do the answer to number 1, if I may. May I?
Oh.
It was Boys Don't Cry by The Cure.
Oh,
Yes.
just the 1 point.
Yes.
What was number 2?
Yes.
Number 2 was Move On
shit.
Up by Curtis
I'm
Mayfield.
gaining ground, Gamble.
Few too many yeses coming from Taylor's camp there.
Yeah, Tim Taylor is pacing. Object in rearview mirror may be closer than they appear. What was question number 3?
Yeah.
Son of a Preaching Man by Dusty Springfield.
Last minute. That's what caused me to push myself up in my chair.
No.
I said it was Raining Men by the Weather Girls.
Oh, no.
Question 4. What was song number 4? Song number 4 was The Next Episode by Dr. Dre.
Screwed it.
Astonishing choice of song to attempt on the telephone.
Is Snoop Dogg in that? Does he feature on the song at all?
I hope so, Finn, because I also wrote Snoop Dogg.
Right.
I think there's a bit at the start where he goes, Snoop Dogg.
We've got a thumbs up. We've got a thumbs up from Michael there. I think that's absolutely fine. Given that Snoop Dogg featured on the track, you can have half a point instead of a point for the artist.
I also put Snoop Dogg. I put Snoop Dogg Gin and Juice.
Well, the gin and juice thing will have to go unrecompensed.
Fine.
Well, question 5 was a lovely pop smash / one hit wonder. I believe it was
Yes.
Blue Dabba Dee by Eiffel 65.
Ivo,
by
can I
Otis
ask,
Redding.
do you need the Dabba D as it's bracketed, or would you be happy with simply blue?
Not in the slightest. Blue will do just fine. So what's that done? Out of a possible 10, Ed, how much did you get in that round?
Only 5.5.
Finn, what did he get in that round?
6.5.
So some ground made up, but not as much as it looked at the start. Amy, what did you get in that round?
Oh, I got 5, but I was really happy with it.
Well, I think you still should be. It's, it's a marginal loss of ground, but I'm with you. You'd want to have won this round with 5, but instead you've come last, haven't you? Last. But it's time for everybody to redeem themselves and wash away their sins with a final blast of general knowledge. Round 6 is all general knowledge. It is 5 questions. We start off with a question about Roman numerals. I thought you'd never ask. Question 1. What number is represented by M in Roman numerals? Question 2. And this is about saints that gave their names to medieval instruments of torture. Come rain or shine, they're always there. Which saint gave her name to a medieval instrument of torture, which in turn gave its name to a firework? So, a lot of backstory there. I suppose if I was looking to slim down the logic, I would just say, what firework's got a girl's name? But it's good to have the saint and the torture instrument in there. Question 3. There are 3 main types of clouds. The high cirrus clouds, the layered stratus clouds, and what third type of puffy clouds? So the 3 types of clouds are cirrus, stratus, and what? And brackets, puffy. Question 4, the penultimate question of the whole quiz. What is the international telephone calling code for the US when calling from the United Kingdom? Ed, who is the most recent person you telephoned in the United States?
Oh, I'm always phoning people in America. For like the sex lines.
Lovely stuff.
I prefer their voices.
Yes, not a patriotic masturbator, Ed Gamble.
No, sir.
No.
I've got imagination. Why would I stay within these borders?
I'd been sad if I couldn't say my catchphrase at least once this quiz. I hope all that transatlantic wanking served you well. And finally, question 5 of round 6, the final question in the whole quiz. What innovation came to film first? Sound or colour? What came first, sound or colour? We've got them both now. Who cares? But obviously, do try and get it right. Okay, let's find out our answers to the final general knowledge round. Question 1 was, what number is represented by M in Roman numerals? The answer is, of course, 1,000. So, let's move things along very swiftly to the torture. What saint gave her name to a medieval instrument of torture, which in turn gave its name to a firework? It was Saint Catherine, as in a Catherine wheel. There are 3 main types of clouds, was question 3. The high cirrus clouds, the layered stratus clouds, but what were the puffy clouds called to complete the trio? The answer was cumulus. Cumulus. Amy, did you get it?
I was so close. I knew it was something like that. I put Columbus,
Hmm.
which I think sounds better, but no.
It does sound better, but
No,
this
I
is
didn't
not
get
the
it
forum to campaign for the renaming of a cloud. It's not,
Okay,
not the forum, nor I would even say the right point in history. You struggle to push through any sort of celestial legislation at this point. Ed, did you get it right?
I did indeed.
Lovely stuff. Do you think it's a good name for a cloud?
I'm happy to stick with it for now.
The votes are tied at 1-1. Finn, do you like the word cumulus?
I like the word, but I got it wrong. I said nimbus. Is that a cloud?
I think there's a cumulonimbus. I think what you've done there is you've got into the sort of the subcategory world.
Yeah.
But still, you've still had the decency to respect its name. So there we go. Motion denied. On to question 4. The international telephone calling code for the US when calling from the United Kingdom. It's as simple as it gets. 001 or +01.
And if anyone would like to dial into +01 69 big thick titties.
Goodness me. I thought the 69 was sexual punchline enough in and of itself.
Oh. No.
But,
I panicked.
But to elaborate further...
That's my mum's number.
Oh, no. Finn is
wait,
never
I just had it saved in as my phone as my mum. It's not my mum. I went to private school. Ding, ding. I miss panel shows, financially and spiritually.
Yes. Question 5. What innovation came first to film? Sound or colour? Amy, what did you put?
I put sound.
Ed, what did you put?
I also put sound.
Finn, what did you put?
I put sound.
You all put sound. You all got it right. No ground has been gained or lost. Sound came around in 1900, and then hot on its heels, colour followed in 1902. So, Ed Gamble, probably the winner of the quiz. We're about to find out. How many questions did you get right in that round?
I got a sweet 5 out of 5.
Oh! What the French call le maximum. Amy, what did you get in that round?
I got 4.
Si presque le maximum. And Finn, what did you get?
I also got 4.
Encore une fois. Obviously, should have just walked away on the laugh the first time, but I had to show off that modern language degree. A very familiar pattern in round 6, as in the whole quiz. Everyone's done relatively well. Everyone's had a good time, but Ed has done slightly better and had a slightly better time, because what are those totals? In final place, we can see that it is Amy on 18. Commiserations, Amy. Perhaps you'll do better in next year's quiz in 2022. Finn, you got 21.5. And then what did Ed get? It's 28. You'd have to say it's a bit of a tonking.
Although I'd say it's only the movie round that really decided it.
That's true. Actually, if we row back and take out the movies, it's a closer run thing. So just to recap, if a few more people globally had gone to watch You've Got Mail, and private schools had been abolished, we'd be looking at a lovely 3-way tie. But as it is, it's got minimal international appeal, and the UK is still a class-based society, and Ed Gamble has romped away with it. So that brings us to the end of another Lock-In Pub quiz. I hope we've all had a good time. Have you had a good time, Amy?
I've had a wonderful time. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope everyone has a great 2021.
Yeah, that's really fantastic stuff. It's been the gift that has kept on giving. Ed Gamble, you won, presumably quite pleased about that. But also, more broadly, have you had a nice time?
I have had a nice time, and as always, that nice time was very much dependent on me being victorious.
Yeah, great stuff. Finn Taylor, you've already complained about the movies round, but that aside, has it been a broadly enjoyable experience?
Loved it. I haven't needed a piss since round 4, so I'm looking forward to it ending.
Right, I'll set you all free for your destinies, toilet-based or otherwise. Thank you for watching at home, if you have, and for enjoying it, if you have. We're here every Thursday night at the Lock-In Quiz, so please come back. Please follow My Ticket UK on Twitter. Please donate generously to Nordhoff Robbins. And I've been Ivo Graham. Thank you again to our contestants, Amy Gledhill, Finn Taylor, and the winner, Ed Gamble. See you all next time. Good night.
All I crave is a good pub feed.